Hey everyone, I'm Ed Rivera, and today I want to talk to you about something that I get asked very frequently, and that is, how can I set up the budget for digital marketing? How much money do I need for my ads? Well, I'm going to try to answer that in this video. So let's start by saying this. Let's say, for example, that your goals for your business is to increase revenue by 15% year over year. Or let's say maybe you want to get 30 new clients this year for your business. How do you establish the budget for that? Well, typically what happens is that a company will use 10% of its annual revenue, or 10% of their revenue from the previous year, they'll apply it to this year, and that 10% will go to marketing overall. Now, everything I'm going to explain here is not set in stone or anything like that, and everything can be adjusted and should be adjusted based on the size of your company and your revenue, number of employees, the industry you're in. Again, there are a lot of factors that will influence a lot of this thing here, and a lot of changes here as well. So what I'm going to give you is just some type of a basic format that you can follow and understand. This should give you an idea of what you need to do for your business. So again, marketing budget overall, to start off with, should be roughly about 10% of your annual revenue from the previous year. So you take that 10% and you apply it to marketing overall. Now you have the budget for your marketing department or your marketing team. Or let's say, for example, maybe you have 2 or 3 people on your team, or maybe you're a solopreneur. But to apply that 10% to your marketing overall is a good idea. And that's a good start. So let's go with that. And again, that can change. For example, if you're a small startup company, maybe less. If you're an aggressive startup company, maybe more, 10, 15, 20% of that. And if you're a bigger company and you have goals to really broaden your market share, it could be much greater than 10%. Maybe you can go to 20 or 30%, and that would be your budget for marketing overall. So now that we have our budget for your marketing overall department or team, or if you're a solopreneur, that's fine. Now what we want to do is we want to break that down from the overall marketing into your digital marketing and traditional marketing. Now, digital marketing, we know, is YouTube, Facebook, and all the other digital efforts. Traditional marketing is maybe you like to go to trade shows. You have a team that makes outbound calls. You place ads in magazines. You do mass mailings. Those are traditional marketing tactics. And of course, digital, again, is YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, website, and a lot of the other tactics as well. So the 10% that you apply to marketing overall, you want to split that. I like the 80-20. 80% goes to digital marketing, 20% goes to traditional. Now again, this can change as well. This will depend on the size of your company, employees, what's your overall revenue for your company, your goals, what are you trying to accomplish. That number will change. You also have, for example, maybe an e-commerce company, and they put 100% of their budget goes into their e-commerce efforts. For example, maybe they'll improve their website. They want to improve the products on their website, maybe the pictures, and maybe they'll even pay an outside agency, consultants, or freelancers to do the work for them. But their efforts are mainly geared towards their e-commerce efforts. But that's an e-commerce company. If you're another company, let's say you're an attorney, you own a law firm, and maybe you want to do 80% will go to digital, 20% will go to mass mailings in the area. Let's say, for example. Those are just examples. I like, again, go with 80-20. You can do 50-50, maybe 100% overall goes to marketing, but I like that split. So we'll say 80% of that 10% of overall marketing, 80% of that will go to digital marketing. Now, once you have your overall 10% digital marketing, and then you have the split between traditional and digital, now what you want to do is you want to make sure you have a strategy, a digital strategy in place. Why? Is because once you have that budget established, then you want to be able to apply that budget towards a strategy that will be very, very efficient, cost effective, and it will help your business overall. So once you have that digital strategy, then we're going to go into tactics. Again, we've already mentioned the traditional tactics, mailings and ads, and then we're going to go to digital tactics. Now, once you have that 80% or whatever it is, 80% established toward digital, then what I like to do is I like to divide it up. For this example here, to keep numbers simple, we want to divide up amongst the 4 digital marketing stack. This is what I call the core 4. And what the core 4 is, a website, video, an ad platform, and an email platform. Now, website could be WordPress, ClickFunnels, Joomla, Wix, Weebly, whatever platform you like to use, you can establish, let's say 25% towards websites. Maybe you want to spend on website redesign, maybe a little bit more. Video will be another tactics that I like to use. This could be YouTube, this could be Vimeo, for example, or maybe you want to invest in a camera, you want to invest in a studio if you're a bigger company, or you want to pay an outside freelancer to handle a lot of your video work. You can do that as well. So that would be a 25%. The next one is a ad platform. In this case, I like to use Facebook. You can use Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, whatever it is, but you want to have a certain percentage geared towards a ad platform. You're definitely going to do that. And then the last of the four, I would say use an email platform. You can use Infusionsoft. You can use, there are many of them out there, MailChimp, Aweber, Infusionsoft. Infusionsoft, as I mentioned, a lot of them out there. You can use any one of those. So that's the core four. And again, this is your digital marketing stack. And I mentioned this in a previous video. You can go back and look at that video and how I discuss what exactly is your digital marketing stack. But again, these are the core four that I like to use. There are a lot of other platforms that people like to use. You can use Instagram. Some people like Snapchat, Instagram TV. Again, it will depend on your strategy. These are the channels that I like to use, that I like to work with. I think they're very effective. But again, it depends on your digital strategy, on what channels you plan on using for your business. So you really need to sit down and take a look at that. Also, what's important, and I'm going to cover this in a minute, is how are all these platforms integrated together, how they work together. And I also cover that in one of my previous videos. You can go back and look at that as well. But you want to make sure that whatever strategy you have in place, that the tactics that you're using supports that strategy, and make sure these tactics are all, again, integrated and they're working together for your end goal and result that you want to achieve and accomplish. Now that we have these four, this is the tech stack, you have your budget. The budget, again, comes from your overall digital marketing budget. You take a piece of it from here and you distribute it. And again, this does not need to be evenly distributed. You may need more money for a website. Maybe perhaps you're building a brand new website. Or as I mentioned, maybe you want to pay a freelancer or someone to handle your video. Your budget will need to be more than what you may want to do. If you're using a lot of ads, if you're doing a lot of ads, maybe you're doing ads simultaneously over different platforms. Let's say you're using Instagram ads and YouTube ads at the same time, maybe Facebook ads all at the same time. You're going to want to increase that budget here and maybe reduce budget in other of these tactics. Again, they do not need to be evenly split, but you should have a budget that you're working with. Now that we have our budget, we're going to pick a channel here, and I'm going to do this as an example to show you how this works. Let's say, for example, we want to use a Facebook ads platform here. We want to take a budget, a certain amount of money from this predetermined budget here. We're going to take a certain amount of money here, and we're going to create a campaign. Okay? Now again, each individual tactics, platforms have their own pre-established budget that you have already set up prior to this. We're going to take a piece from here, and we're going to develop a campaign. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you that how the budget is deployed and how the budget and the results can benefit your overall goals. So let's look at that. Again, this is just an example. There are different variations. This is a sales funnel, marketing funnel. Different variations on this. This will depend on your goals, what you're trying to accomplish, your budget, and it's just a sample here. Again, a lot of variations. Let's say, for example, again, this is coming from Facebook, from your Facebook budget. So we're going to set up a Facebook campaign. Let's say, for example, this is a Facebook ad. Okay, we have our ad right here. We're going to have a budget of $500. Now, the reason why this budget is here, I just arbitrarily chose this budget as an example just to explain this to you. But this budget will come from your previous budget in marketing, or this will come from your customer acquisition cost. I'm going to explain that in a minute. But let's say, just for example, our budget is $500. You have a Facebook ad here. Okay, 1,000 people see this Facebook ad online. They're scrolling through their feed. They see the ad, 1,000 of them. You have a conversion rate of 3%, so that you get 30 people that come and click on your landing page. So let's say, for example, 1,000 people click on the ad, they land on your landing page. 3% conversion rate will give you 30 people that clicked on your landing page. What happens with the other 97% that don't convert? Well, you can remarket them through Facebook remarketing and retargeting. Basically, remarketing and retargeting is just an ad that follows potential customers around the internet just to get them to come back to this sales funnel here. And many of you have seen this. We've all seen it where as we're navigating around the web, we see a particular ad, and this ad is the same ad is just following us around. It's trying to get us back into the sales funnel. So getting back to the example, you have 3% conversion rate, 30 people come to your landing page. These two pages, landing page and thank you page, this is part of your website. These are pages that are on your website, whether you're using WordPress, you're using ClickFunnels, whatever the website platform you're using, these pages are part of that. So you bring them to this landing page. Landing page is a video, and it talks about the product maybe. 30 people that come to this landing page will click on the page, will give you their information. It can be email, it can be their address, it can be their phone number. Whatever that information is, they provide that information to your business. That's what that landing page is. Now, after the landing page, let's say from there, they'll go to the thank you page. From the thank you page, maybe you'll have half of them, from these people, will go to the thank you page. Okay. Now, the thank you page, you have 15 people that go to they want to schedule a call. Now, this is the ad. This is the landing page, the thank you page. People will schedule a call here. Now, this particular funnel is used oftentimes in, let's say, for example, coaches, consultants, in some cases, attorneys, maybe CPAs. But it really depends on the business and the service actually that's being offered. But this is exactly what it is. Now, 15 will land on the thank you page. So look at the video, for example. Then you'll have another, from the 15, you'll have 15 that come here. 10 will schedule a call. Okay? From the 15, 10 will schedule a call with your company. Now, this is a page that's in one of these companies that offer scheduling platforms. It's just service. It's not on your website. It's a different platform that you integrate into the sales funnel. It's very easily done. So 10 schedule a call. Now, your company gets 10 leads. Your sales team, or either you or your sales team, maybe you have one or two people that handle the calls, they call these leads, 10 of them. And for whatever reason, you can only get in contact with, let's say, 7. Maybe they're not answering the phone for whatever reason. And so you have 7. So now your company actually is speaking to 7 leads who are potential clients. And that's what this stage is right here. Now, as we go along and you get a certain amount of people you can tell that are not moving on to the next page, you can always remarket to them, retarget them. At this stage, when someone gives you, let's say, for example, their email address, you can add them to your database. And if they don't convert, you retarget them, remarket to them, of course, off the Facebook platform. Now again, getting back to this, as you go along around, you constantly remarketing and retargeting them. And this is all coming out of your budget to get more people to come back. Now, again, you have your company has 7 people on the call. You're trying to convert them to buy your product or service. This can be your salespeople who are talking to potential leads and customers. Now, out of 7, your sales team or your sales team closed 4, which is down here. Okay, you started off 1,000 people saw the Facebook ad, 30 converted, 50 went to the thank you page, 10 scheduled a call. 7 actually spoke to your company and you closed 4. Your sales team closed 4. Now, why is this important? Because this goes back to the budget, and that is this. If you spend $500, we're going to do basic math here. I'm going to tell you why this is so important. $500 is your budget here. You have 30 that became leads. These are the people that provided your email address, their email address, phone number, whatever the case is. However you have it set up here, they became leads. These 30. To get your cost per lead, which is what this cost is, 500 divided by 30 is $16.60. That is what's costing your company per lead. It's per lead. It's a cost per lead cost. That's what it is, $16.60. Then down here is cost per conversation. If you remember earlier, your salespeople were talking to 7 people, 7 leads and potential customers. That cost is $500, which is your starting budget, divided by the 7 that they were talking to. It's $71.42. It's costing your company $71.42 to get a salesperson on the line with a lead to try to close them. Now, if we move further, you'll see this is where it gets interesting. Again, 7, they closed 4. So your cost per acquisition is $500, which is your starting budget. You divide that by 4, which is the amount of people that your sales team was actually closed. That cost $125. So your cost per acquisition is $125. That is what's costing your company for every sale. That's customer cost per acquisition cost. That's what's costing your customer to your company to sell a product to every customer. $125. So now let's say, for example, your product or service is $250. You just made a $125 profit, because for every dollar that you're spending, you're bringing in $2. So if your customer is costing you $125 and you're selling a $250 product, the difference is $125. That's your profit. Now, this is where it gets a little bit even more interesting. Now, let's say if you want to get 30 new clients. Well, now that you know what your customer acquisition cost is in this particular sales funnel off of the Facebook ad platform, now that you know it's $125 per customer, you want to bring in 30 new clients this year, your budget now is going to have to be $3,750 to bring in these 30 new clients. Now that's the budget for these 30 new clients. Now if you figure out for each customer how much you sold to them, that'll give you your profit. Now, why is that so important? Because number one, you have your customer acquisition cost. You know how much money you're going to make per customer. So if you can rev this up here, you can get additional profits. And that will help you not only get 30 new clients, but it will increase your revenue 15% year over year. Now again, this is basic, but this is how it's done here. These are the numbers. I use basic numbers, basic math. I set up the budget here and over here on your Facebook ad platform. Now, if you also have utilizing the budget for the WordPress, whatever your website you're using, in your video, your email, if you're using the budget also, then you'll get some type of result. You want to make sure that you keep track of all this at every stage, because once you know your numbers at every stage here, you can actually optimize it or improve it to improve these numbers and close more customers. Okay, that's your customer acquisition cost. This is your cost per lead. That can help your budget increase your revenue 15% year over year as you want it. I hope this helps. I'm Ed Rivera. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the internet.